Ahoy there, friends! Welcome back to my weekly vlog. We are currently on week 8, and I will give you some of the details that we've been going through. So, firstly, I've been on Amitriptyline, so this medication here, for roughly about a month now, and I haven't seen much improvement. I'm planning on going back to my doctor on Thursday, just to get an update to see if it's worthwhile staying on the medication. I was told that once I start, I shouldn't just cut it off cold turkey, so I need to figure out, because I'm taking one pill a night so far, and I'm just needed to see if I need to take like one every 2 nights or anything like that just to wean myself off it. I haven't been getting a lot of the dry mouth that I was at the start, but it doesn't feel like it's been helping with my migraines. I don't usually get it too often, but I have been getting it when I've been exercising, so I don't know if that's a correlation to it. Maybe I'm just overworking myself. I'm currently not too sure. I Since that's one thing I need to work out with my doctor, if it's worthwhile taking the medication if I'm not actually getting migraines like it just normally, instead of if it's actually a trigger from my working out. At this point, when I say working out, the only thing that I'm currently doing is walking. I have seen somewhat of a personal trainer, physiotherapist, something along those lines. That's another thing I need to ask my doctor as well to see if I can get more appointments with that. I'm finding it hard to find the motivation to work out. The steps goals that I've set have been met, which is great. I'm currently on roughly for this week about just under 4,500 steps a day. I spoke to my therapist and I'm trying to leave the house at least every day, unless it's like raining and pouring or whatnot. I want to at least try to get 3,000 steps daily instead of having 3,000 steps on average for the week. I think that's a little bit better than just staying home and exercising, or going out for one day exercising a lot and then another day doing barely anything. So that's what I was doing. Like one day I would go to the shops and maybe walk anywhere between 3 to 6,000, and then come home exhausted. And then the day after, I wouldn't do anything. I would just stay home and either watch shows or stay on the computer. That's something I don't want to do, because I do want to get back to a normal standard living life. And at this point, I don't feel like I can, because even going to the groceries, I get relatively tired. Today I went to the groceries and I went to Costco, so it was 2 trips, and I did get a slight headache for a couple of hours, but that did subside. The last time I did probably about anywhere between 6,000 to 9,000 steps when I went out to the shops. That migraine stayed for the whole night until about 11 o'clock at night. So I think I just need to work myself up to it, and I just need to pace myself so that I'm not getting to that stage. Because when I do, I just don't want to do anything anymore. I don't want to exercise. I don't want to go for a walk. I just kind of just sit down and dwell, right? So hopefully we don't get to that stage anymore, and I can just rigorously build myself up to a normal health, and that is currently the goal. Once again, so I haven't been doing much with this as well. So the pain reprocessing therapy booklet, I did have a chat with my therapist and, oh, sorry, psychologist, and we will be setting a goal to do at least the first 2 chapters in the next couple of weeks for my next appointment. And I need to be able to, I guess, remember, because at this point I'm reading the book for the sake of reading it and I'm not absorbing enough information. So we're trying to go through mind mapping and try to see if I can need to write it out, and hopefully that way I'll be able to absorb it a lot easier and remember some of the details in the actual book itself. So that's another thing that we're planning on doing, and I'm trying to help myself learn and read a book properly, because as he said, I don't think I'm reading the book properly at all. So that's a few things off the list at the moment. I did also recently get the new set for One Piece, which is OP13, and we did pull a relatively nice card. So I think I'm going to slow down with buying One Piece cards now, because I'll be getting into Riftbound. But this is the biggest hit that I've got. And I gonna have to sell it off, right? Because we did buy it with a couple of friends, so we're just gonna split the profits with that card. So that is pretty much the most of it for me as of today. We do have a few things that we're doing this week. So on Wednesday, I'll be taking my mum to one of her appointments, and then we'll see what she needs from me from that. Once again, Thursday, we'll have the doctor's appointment for myself. Friday and Saturday, I think I have a few plans with friends, but Sunday, we will be going to the Twice concert, so that will be very exciting. This will be the second time I get to see them. I do have the light stick, which I need to find and hopefully get batteries for just to make sure it's working. Otherwise, I'll be very disappointed. We do need to upgrade the camera just because the last photos I took with the concert weren't that great with my, I think, S21 Plus. But we don't have funds for that at the moment. So when it happens, it happens. When I get back to work, hopefully I'll be able to get normal income, and then I'll be able to start splurging on a few other things. But with that being said, I think that's it for me for this week. Hopefully we can get to a more, because the average of 3,000 steps, it can be beaten. So I just need to force myself to actually get out of the house every day. The whole week is a lot of rain, so it might be a little bit hard for me to do. Worst case scenario, I did buy a few things from Kmart to do like steps workouts at home, just because steps do hurt my knees fairly often. So hopefully with me just doing that at home, just walking up and down that little step that I bought will be enough to build a tolerance towards it. And we'll go from there. So I do have a few exercises that I'll try to hopefully do throughout the week. If anyone has any motivational tips, that would be great. Because as I said, the only exercise that I do regularly is walking. And that's a standard and everyone should be doing, right? So I want to be able to wipe the table without having pain, or being able to do it for more than like a couple of minutes and being tired. So with that, that's me for this week, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.